Yellow, TENIME here. Today's video is made possible thanks to Justin. Thank you for buying my Ninja Turtle comics that I unintentionally priced to completely cover this guy. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the NECA Spring Haulathon 2025 cartoon style, because it wasn't actually in the cartoon, PandaCon. This thing is heavy. And I'm sorry to keep leaning so hard into the Genma connection, but I don't have a whole lot of other Panda-related nostalgia, so I'm going to keep riding this pretty hard. Let's get them open, shall we? Alrighty then, looking at the box, we have some more beautiful artwork from Aaron on some nice packaging from Travis. Matt's got the photography down, Roger's got the prototypes down, Jeff and Mike are on paint, Tomaz and Kushwara Studios are on sculpt and fabrication, and directors Randy and Trevor. There's the 2012 TMNT logo again. There's the NECA logo, the Real Toys logo, other logos I don't understand except for the not for children between 0 and 3 years old recycling. I don't know what the yin yang arrows are, or the CE, and then I assume UKCA, United Kingdom, Canada, Universal House, Pennywell Road, Bristol, UK. We have the barcode if you need it. We've got the Viacom copyright information, but who cares because they're a soulless, faceless billionaire corporation. What is important is the copyright information for PandaCon's creators, Monica Sharp and Dave Garcia. Because despite having a vintage figure in the vintage line, PandaCon is not a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles character. Much like Usagi Yojimbo, he has merely been a guest star. Accessories include Morning Chi, bamboo hat, backpack, claws, interchangeable heads and hands. Side of the box is also standard for these Ultimates releases. We got the NECA FHE logo at the top, underneath a Nickelodeon logo. We got the Ninja Turtles and PandaCon logo in the middle. We got Crouching Panda Hidden Turtles towards the bottom. We got Volume 19 because he is the 19th of the Ultimate figures. The other side is identical. We got some nice matte photography of Roger prototypes on top of some great Aaron artwork. The description: when PandaCon confronts an evil wizard called Aldabra, an ancient tortoise, to try and protect his home of Wukong, the wizard enacts a spell that goes wrong and PandaCon is drawn into a temporal vortex that rips him away from Wukong and drops him in a dark alleyway in the heart of Hell's Kitchen, New York. When he awakes, he is amazed at the strange new world he has entered, but that amazement soon turns to shock as he finds himself surrounded by a group of foot soldiers, and they demand that he journeys with them as their leader, the Shredder, wishes an audience with him. PandaCon will have none of that and draws his sword, the Morning Chi, and squares off against the new threat. Unseen far above, 4 turtle brothers are watching the scene unfold, and they quickly come to realize that PandaCon is no friend of the Foot Clan, but he is heavily outnumbered. So with the battle cry, "Cowabunga!" echoing through the darkness of the alleyways, the brothers leap from the rooftop, dropping down to join the large samurai panda to vanquish the Foot Clan soldiers. And this is but the beginning of the story, to be continued in your imagination. I really like this idea that bringing characters that weren't in the cartoon into the style of the cartoon. A couple years ago, correct date on screen, they showed off a Last Ronin in the toon style, but we haven't seen any more updates on that or heard anything else about it either. We did just get Wyrm, who was in the vintage toy line, who did appear in animated form in an old commercial for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toy line, and that character, albeit slightly different or vastly different designs, did show up in other canons of Ninja Turtles, but this is not a review of Wyrm. Inside the Velcro flap, we have another awesome photo by Matt of Roger's awesome prototype, and then we have the panda himself in all of his glory. Let's get him out of the package, shall we? And there he is out of the package. For his insert, we get a cool little, exterior of a Japanese building. Is this even painted? Because that looks like photo of real gravel. Is this Matt's doing, or is this Aaron's doing? The stonework, the wood, I don't know if that's plaster or canvas. I don't know if that looks painted. That I'm not sure. That looks real. Not to doubt Aaron or Travis's skills, but that looks like real dirt and pebbles photographed. But that's awesome. Yes, I'm keeping it. I know the content of my reviews tends to be a little inconsistent, and that's just due to bad memory. Like, I don't remember everything that A, I want to do, or B, that should be done for a comprehensive toy review. But there are things that I do make an audible on. Like, I don't typically take you through the look at the figure because A, any paint imperfections are going to vary per copy. So even if I've got slop or bleed on mine, doesn't mean that you will get that on yours. Plus, I just don't feel like I'm intelligent enough to really like critique on things that aren't glaringly obvious to other people, like this is a bad sculpt or this is good paint. Like, and yeah, I can do that, but that's really, I don't feel like I can be any more articulate than just this is a good sculpt, this is a bad sculpt, this is good paint, this is bad paint. Obviously, you know, miss spots like that. But like I said, paint issues are going to be random. They're not going to be consistent across everyone's copies. Even something made in factories and not necessarily hand done, which I'm not sure how NECA does it. I don't know if it's all hand painted or if it's factory painted or if it's hand painted in a factory. But regardless, when you have mass market items, things like paint is going to be by and large inconsistent across all of the unique copies of these items. What I can at least consistently show are the amount and types of accessories, such as his relaxed hands, left and right, both with horizontal hinges. He comes packaged with 2 fists. Oh man, what a bummer. His grip hands have horizontal hinges. Why, NECA gods? Why have you forsaken me with these horizontal hinges on these grip hands? Oh wait, maybe that's because we have grip hands with vertical hinges too. Because it would look a little silly to hold the claws with vertical hinges. Speaking of the claws, obviously someone who has Wolverine's claw sheets tattooed on the backs of his hands is going to appreciate this medieval weapon. His awesome sword, the Morning Chi. He's got this cool basket backpack with an opening lid, and it is empty inside, so you can put things inside. He's got this awesome straw hat with this little rectangular hole that the top of his head plugs into. Obviously, the chin strap is going to be soft plastic. His awesome alternate head, which will definitely be my default head. I like the facial expression better, and I like the top knot better. However, if you too like the top knot better, but prefer the other angrier facial expression, there's a way for you to get your wish. To accomplish that, you can simply just pull the top of his head off, pull the top of that head off. That one holds snugger, and I'm glad. Which makes me nervous because I don't want to stretch that hole, because that's the head I want to use this on, but there we go. Now you got the top knot with the angry face, or the straw hat. Oh, that looks kind of cool. There we go. I don't know why this specific figure is not focusing all that well. Like, is it because of his white fur? Because I don't know. But I have not had this focusing problem with any other review that I'm at least paying attention to while I'm filming. There are reviews where I'm looking over the camera at the figure itself. But so like I said, with my version, this is loose. It does stay on, but it doesn't take a whole lot to unplug it from there. Okay. BRB. I don't know if it's just the figures tight as figures tend to be, or if my failing hands are failing faster than usual, because I was having issues drawing last night, and now I'm having issues swapping heads on action figures. Loop that over an arm, move that arm back, slide it in there. That's fairly easy. Looks really nice. He has a dumbbell up in the top of his neck. The bottom of the neck is a solid piece going into the torso. He gets a little bit of tilt, not a whole lot. He can look up a decent amount. He can bury his chin. Obviously, there's rotation. We get a rotation on the bandana tail, which they are removable. So if you want to swap, you can swap. I don't know which one I like better. We'll stick with this for the rest of the video. Yeah, I don't know which one I like better. Also, the top knot is also articulated and removable, though I don't know why you'd want to remove it, as otherwise he would have a hole there, unless you want to like stick something else into his top of his head. Maybe a ponytail, which I don't know who you get the ponytail from, but there is that option. But if you don't like the top knot, here's a head without a hole in it. He has a pin hinge shoulder that comes up to there. The shoulder pad is rubbery and will give you a little bit of extra oomph, but you can't get it much more past than that. At least it's not as limiting as that dark Leo right shoulder. He has a bicep swivel. He is double jointed. Pinless elbows come up to there. He has that awesome forearm swivel right underneath the larger top band, so you can swivel his gauntlet to the back or the side. And I don't know why you'd want it there, but you can do that. His arms can swivel all the way around. He has no torso joint. There's nothing in there. This does kind of appear. Nope, never mind. Okay. At first I thought maybe this was like an overlay, but if you actually look where like the neck meets the tunic, it's a solid piece. This is an overlay and it's nice and rubbery, but there is nothing there. Absolutely nothing. And he only has a cut waist, which doesn't even really give you... Ooh, actually. Okay. However, his waist joint is like capped over the crotch piece. So I'm assuming there's a ball up in there. Doesn't really let you get any forward. You can kind of get a little bit of back, but then it's going to gap up from the sash belt. And I did look to see if maybe I was just moving the belt down, but the blue is moving separate of the green. I don't know really how to show that to you. Like I can feel I'm holding onto the green and oh, okay. So you can ever so slightly get tilt at the waist. I don't know. The armor in the way. Like, you'll have to take my word that I'm holding, like, I'm touching the crotch and the butt with my thumb and forefinger, and I can feel that they aren't moving while the top piece is. And then you can see there's like action figure oil in there. You could push it to get more rotation, but yeah, I'm not gonna. He's got the capped ball hips. They can go out that far. They can go up that far. They can go back that far. You get a little bit of rotation on the cap. He only has single jointed knees. Doesn't quite hit 90, and at least when it's bent, you don't get a whole lot of rotation. But if you straighten it out, you do get a lot more rotation on there. There are no other joints down here. His ankle pegs up into his shin and so can rotate on that piece. And then because of that hinge, you don't get a whole lot of back due to the cuff. You actually get a little more forward than I would have assumed. But thankfully you do get good ankle tilt. And then with the rotation at the top of the ankle, you can get some more dynamic range out of those. Here he is with the original Playmates vintage. This is not my Playmates vintage. I actually didn't have this figure growing up. I had a lot of others, but I did not have this one. This is thanks to Josh. I'm very, very appreciative that he loaned his PandaCon for this video. There is, of course, the vintage Usagi Yojimbo. Not my childhood one. I may still have it, but I guarantee that the ears broke off. So this is definitely a vintage rebuy that I got off eBay like 10 years ago. Here he is with more Usagis. We have the regular one from the 4-pack Year of the Rabbit on his left, our right, and we have the Samurai one from the single-pack Ultimate on his right, screen left, joined by some NECA Samurai Michelangelos from the TMNT 3 San Diego 4-pack, and from the Toon 2-pack with Space Adventure Donatello. The only other Panda I have, the Tamashii Nations Bandai Spirits Figuarts Zero Ranma 1/2 Genma Saotome. Sticking with the samurai theme and getting one more turtle in there, we have the Super 7 Ultimate Sewer Samurai Leonardo and the Sentinel Ronin Warriors, Warriors of Chodenkado Rio of the Wildfire. My usuals with some slight variations as I am wont to do, the McFarlane Toys Mortal Kombat 11 Shadow of Spawn, the Hasbro Marvel Legends comic book Deadpool, the NECA TMNT 3 Samurai Michelangelo, the Fresh Monkey Fiction Eagle Force Agent Grimm. I know I've got some kind of samurai mini-mate from the Tomb Raider line, but all of my mini-mates are just completely buried in bins, and then the bins are buried. The Jakks Pacific Super Mario, the Medicom Mafex Snyder Cut Justice League Batman, the Mattel Masterverse Revelation Stinkor, and the Super 7 TMNT Ultimate Sewer Samurai Leonardo. Had to bring Usagi back out, not just because they have their tenuous Ninja Turtle connections in common, but both being white-furred samurai animals. From the reveal of PandaCon, I wanted to pair the two of them together on my shelves. I don't have a lot much more to say about this guy. I mean, he's awesome despite some of his limitations. I love this idea of bringing more characters from the outlying Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle mythos and incorporating them into the style of the Toon line. I really hope I can get a hold of Tattoo and Wyrm, although the tattoo I want is the Archie version, but this is not a review. If you see him, I would definitely recommend picking him up. If you are vehemently not a fan of store exclusives, please see my rant at the end of the Ultimate Shredder video. Thank you again to Justin and Josh for your assistance in completing this video. If you'd like to buy some crap that I'm selling, find me on social media. TENIME is usually how you can best find me. I'm not selling a whole lot of more Ninja Turtles stuff, but I am trying to get rid of quite a few Transformers and Mattel Legacy dinosaurs. But anyway, you know the YouTube algorithm sucks. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, patreon.com/TENIME. $5 a month gets you unlimited behind-the-scenes access to all artworks, works in progress, including YouTube thumbnails. Stay safe. TTFN. Ta-ta for now.